Today we're taking a look at these NCAAF matches, which are happening on Saturday, September 3, 2022, and giving you our match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 360 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting picks that ends up costing you a lot of money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Idaho vs Washington State. The Idaho Vandals take on the Washington State Cougars in some Pac-12 after dark action. This is the first game of the season for both teams. Washington State is coming off a 7-5 season in which they had a new head coach. This will be year 2 under coach Jake Dickert, and some are optimistic about this season. Their win total is set at 5.5 at most books, which would be disappointing after last season's success. They need a win against an inferior FCS opponent to prove the bookmakers wrong. Idaho won only 3 games last season. They played 2 FBS opponents and lost 56-14 to Indiana and 42-0 to Oregon State. The Vandals are 1-9 straight up and 4-6 against the spread in their last 10 games against FBS opponents. The Vandals just don't have the talent to keep up with an FBS roster, even if it is a mediocre team like Washington State. The Cougars are 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games and should keep that going in this game. Our team pick is Washington State minus 28.5 points. The Washington State defense may be able to keep Idaho off the board early, but after some time, and when the backups get in, the Vandals should get on the board. Idaho is not likely to be able to stop Washington State at all, so when Idaho starts scoring, the total should go over. Washington State has hit the over in 4 of its last 5 games dating back to last season, and Idaho has hit the over in 3 of their last 5 games against FBS opponents going back to 2018. Look for Washington State to go up big early, then call off the dogs and allow Idaho to score enough to hit this over. Our total pick is over 56.5 points. Boise State vs Oregon State. The Boise State Broncos went 7-5 last year and it still felt like a down year. The Broncos haven't had a losing season since 1997 and were able to keep that streak alive last season. The standards are higher in Boise State and 7-5 won't be acceptable for another season. The Broncos struggled at the line of scrimmage. The offensive line underperformed and the Broncos didn't allow quarterback Hank Bachmeier to get in a rhythm. Meanwhile, Boise State has lost Khalil Shacker, who was drafted by the Buffalo Bills, but this team still figures to have a ton of playmaking ability as long as the offensive line can hold up. Boise State is considered one of the favorites to win the MWC this season, while Oregon State was projected to finish in 5th place in the Pac-12 in their preseason poll. The Broncos have a talented QB in Hank Bachmeier, who led Boise State to an average of 260 passing yards per game in 2021. This is key as Oregon State ranked 87th in the FBS in pass defense last year and lost many key pieces from that unit. They also have a new defensive coordinator this season. Furthermore, the Broncos have a solid defense that will contain Oregon State. The Beavers' QB Chance Nolan is decent, however, they lost B.J. Baylor, who was one of the best running backs in the entire Pac-12 last year. Oregon State is starting to trend in the right direction after losing to Utah State in the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl. They made a bowl game and that was important to the program. Last year, the pass protection was just as inadequate as Boise State's, but the run game was way more effective. Chance Nolan, who will get the start at quarterback, is capable of scrambling around the field to make plays. Oregon State also has a solid backfield of runners who can produce. Both offenses should have a solid game to start the season, and Oregon State's inability to stop the run on defense should eventually hurt them. I'll grab Boise State with the points. Our team pick is Boise State plus 3 points. Both of these offenses look to be in good shape. Hank Bachmeier figures to be one of the best quarterbacks in the Mountain West. With Boise State last year, he threw for over 3,000 yards last season and still completed 62.8% of his passes despite playing behind a terrible offensive line. Bachmeier took 24 sacks last season but still helped send Khalil Shacker into the NFL. Boise State will have plenty of key contributors on their offense, starting with Bachmeier. Plus, Oregon State's defense missed so many tackles last season and struggled against the run on the defensive end. If Boise State can get the run game going, look out. Nolan Chance will start Oregon State at quarterback. He's a dual threat type of quarterback. He threw for 2,677 yards and ran for 286 yards. But I'm not sure that this Oregon State offense will have success against Boise State. Last season, Boise State led the conference in scoring defense. To close out the regular season last year, they held their last 4 opponents to 19 or fewer points. The coverage has a reputation for playing well, and the rest of the defense should not disappoint. I'll take the under in this game. Our total pick is under 57 points. Kent State vs Washington. This Week 1 matchup will see the Kent State Golden Flashes taking on the Washington Huskies. The Golden Flashes play in the MAC, while the Huskies are in the Pac-12. The Huskies are coming off a horrible 2021, a season where they finished 4-8. Their season started with a loss to FCS school, Montana, and went downhill from there. They did have a few close games with strong teams such as Oregon, but were still dreadful on the season as a whole. The Golden Flashes, on the other hand, finished the season 7-7 in 2021, ending the year with a loss in a bowl game to Wyoming. It should be noted that Kent State made an appearance in the MAC championship game, though they fell to Northern Illinois by a score of 41-23. It was a nightmare 2021 campaign for the Huskies, as the only team they beat by more than one score was Arkansas State, with the other 3 wins coming in close games against lowly Cal Arizona and Stanford, with several blowout losses in between. Washington opened the season with a horrendous loss to FCS Montana, and head coach Jimmy Lake was dismissed midway through his second year for both on- and off-field reasons. Washington won once in 2021 by more than touchdown, so the fact that they are laying more than 3 touchdowns is generous to say the least. This game might be against a team from the MAC, but Kent State proved to be the best team in their half of the conference last season, so there is no reason why they should not be able to cover this number. Add in the fact that the Huskies were one of the worst defenses in the country in 2021, and backing the Golden Flashes to keep this game respectable looks to be worth a lean. Our team pick is Kent State plus 23 points. A lot of the struggles from Washington last year come from the fact that they had a terrible offense. The Huskies averaged 22.8 points per game in 2021, which ranked 95th in the country. Defensively, they were solid however, allowing just 23.5 points per game, which ranked 35th in the nation. Kent State averaged 33 points per game last season. They threw for 244.6 yards and rushed for 248.7 yards per game. They lost starting quarterback Dustin Crum, who accounted for over 4,000 yards and 32 touchdowns, but they are confident in Colin Schley, who played well in limited action last season. He will have plenty of help this season with Dante Cephas, who had over 1,200 receiving yards, and Jashuan Polk coming back. Kent State were the exact opposite. They had an explosive offense that averaged 30.8 points per game, but their defense could not stop anyone, allowing 38.3 points per game. Backing the under for this Week 1 matchup looks to be worth a lean on Saturday night.